Chris Cowlin. Fan cams. Club news. Transfer news. Match previews. Legend interviews. Spurs winning. Press conferences. Covering everything Tottenham and England.
Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Spurs in the Media, where I'll be going through all of today's newspapers, looking at all of the player ratings and the articles from today's national press from the game Brighton 4, Tottenham Hotspur 2. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. So let's get straight into it, and let's start with the report from the Sun newspaper on the front of their goal supplement. It says here, sunny days, skipper's blast. Heung-min Son told Tottenham to wake up as they shipped 4 goals at Brighton in a manic 6-goal thriller. After the game, Captain Heung-min Son said it's a very disappointing performance. This is not how we have approached this season. This performance was nowhere near the level we want to play at. We know what our mistakes were, but now is not the time to point fingers at each other because the games are coming thick and fast. We have to talk about the first half and the early parts of the second half rather than the end. We know we have to play like that from minute 1. We have to take the lesson now and move on. Every team is strong in the Premier League, and if we're not playing like the last 15 minutes in every game, we're going to struggle, and this has to be a big wake-up call. Now, the match stats published by the Sun newspaper. Shots, Brighton had 15 to Tottenham's 19. Shots on target, Brighton had 9 to Tottenham's 3. Possession, 46% to Brighton, 54 Spurs. Passes, Brighton 453 to Tottenham's 515. Completed passes, Brighton 374 to Tottenham's 437. Touches in the opposition box, Brighton 26 to Tottenham's 56. Corners, Brighton 7, Spurs 6. Fouls conceded, Brighton 18, Spurs 6. And yellow cards, Brighton received 3, Tottenham received 2. Match time 105 minutes, 26 seconds. Ball in play, 56 minutes, 4 seconds. A couple more stats from the Sun newspaper. Brighton are unbeaten in 8 Premier League home games, 4 wins and 4 draws, equaling their longest such run in the top flight, having also done so in 1981. Tottenham had scored the first goal in each of their last 12 Premier League games before the Brighton game. It was the first time they had been 1-0 down since the 24th of September. And Pedro has now scored all of his 8 penalties for Brighton this term, the most of any other player across Europe's Big 5 leagues in all competitions this season. Now for a report from the Daily Mirror, and it says here, hit by a flock of seagulls, Spurs thrashed on the south coast as Brighton end their glory year in style. Brighton blew Tottenham away to end their greatest year in buccaneering style. After the game, Ange Postecoglou said in his press conference, it's very demanding the way that we play, and we kind of look like a team that wasn't at its sharpest. Brighton took full advantage of that. Tonight we fell short, but it wasn't for the want of trying. Now, player ratings from the Daily Mirror today. They've given man of the match to Pedro. They've said here, kept his cool from the penalty spot on 2 occasions. Player ratings for the Spurs players, Vicario 7. If it wasn't for Vicario, by the way, I think it would have been a whole lot more. He made a couple of great saves in that game, so probably 7 is a bit harsh for him. Pedro Porro a 4 out of 10. Emerson Royale and Ben Davis both were 5s. Udogie a 6. Sarr a 4. Højbjerg a 5. Johnson a 6. Kulusevski a 5. Heung-min Son a 6. Richarlison a 5. Lo Celso a 5. Brian Hill a 6. And Vilés as sub, of course, he got his first goal for the club, a 5 out of 10. And by the way, there were 2 yellow cards in the game for Spurs, Kulusevski and Richarlison. Kulusevski is now suspended for the Bournemouth game on New Year's Eve. Now for a report from the Daily Star today, and it says here, Rob's boys get it done. De Zerbi Stormtroopers power on. Brighton blew away Spurs with a footballing force as strong as Storm Gerrit to end the club's best ever year in crazy style. Now, in this report, it says Seagoals boss Roberto De Zerbi said it was the best way to finish the year. I'm really proud for the last 10 minutes because at the end, we were suffering a lot. Pedro was the best player on the pitch. Now for a report from the Times newspaper today, and the main heading states, idiotic Spurs fall to pieces. The most troubling part for Ange Postecoglou will be that things could have been much worse. And the late rally flattered Tottenham Hotspur. He promised Tottenham would be entertaining to watch, and their makeshift defence duly obliged by opening the gates for Brighton Hove Albion to score twice inside 23 minutes. Now, the player ratings from the Times newspaper today: Vicario an 8 out of 10, Pedro Porro a 5, Emerson a 6, Davis a 6, Udogie a 5, Højbjerg a 5, Sarr a 4, sub Brian Hill a 5, Johnson a 6, Kulusevski a 6, Heung-min Son a 5, Richarlison a 5, sub Lo Celso a 5. The Times have also reported on the possible move, Lloris to Los Angeles. It says Hugo Lloris is in talks to join Los Angeles FC, which would bring to an end his 11-year spell at Tottenham Hotspur. The former France goalkeeper, 37, lost his armband and was made surplus to requirements last summer when Spurs signed Vicario to join Fraser Forster, the backup. In the last of his 447 appearances in all competitions for the club last April, Lloris was taken off at half-time, with Spurs losing 5-0 to Newcastle. A report now from Daily Express, and it says here, Seagoals end storming year by sinking Spurs, damage done early, and it's got this article here as well. Heung-min Son says defeat must be wake-up call. Now a report from the newspaper, and it says here, Pedro inspires as Seagoals swoop down on Foul Spurs. Inspired by the excellent Pedro, Brighton signed off for the year by overwhelming a Tottenham side. Those frantic late rally could not disguise the fact that they were second best by a margin. The newspaper have also given player of the match to Pedro. It says here, gave Tottenham a torrid time, capping his performance with 2 assured penalties. And they have also published a stat, 19. Since the start of November, Spurs are matched only by Nottingham Forest for Premier League goals conceded. Now for a report from the Daily Mail, and it says here, this same stat, 19 since the start of November. No side has conceded more Premier League goals than Tottenham, 19. Brighton are the only team yet to keep a top-flight clean sheet this season. Now, the player ratings from the Daily Mail today: Vicario an 8, Pedro Porro a 5, Emerson a 5, Davis a 6, Udogie a 5.5, Sarr a 6, sub Brian Hill a 6, Højbjerg a 5, Kulusevski a 6.5, Johnson a 5, Velez, of course, sub 7, Richarlison a 6, Lo Celso a 6, Heung-min Son a 7. Manager Ange Postecoglou a 6. They have given referee Jared Gillett a 6.5. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, come on you Spurs.